Hello, students. I hope you guys are having a great time, a great, wonderful day, a great, wonderful week as well. Hopefully, you guys are finding some stuff to be able to do. Get out there, do something different, build something, make something. You should try making a trebuchet or something like that. But ask your parents first and make it small. Don't make it too big. Okay. Let's see here. So today we're going to talk a little bit about blood, something that's really, really close to us. Okay, we all know blood. We've all seen blood, unfortunately, when it oozes from our body. But that's the way it is. Let's see here. Someone asked me when we were back, in the physical classroom and everything, how many red blood cells die? And I had to look it up, and I just did today, and I found out that it's 2 million red blood cells die every minute. That's a lot of red blood cells, and luckily, the same amount of red blood cells are created. Red blood cells are made in your bone marrow. And actually, a side little note, it's your spleen. Your spleen is what filters out all your old red blood cells. Okay, your spleen, not you've felt it probably, but you're not super close with it. That's what you get when you have a side ache. When you have a side ache, that's actually your spleen that is in pain. Okay. All right, so what's blood made of? We're going to be taking a look at these right here. Four main things: red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and plasma. Okay, starting out with the red blood cells. These guys right here. This is artist rendition of it. They look like the actual term for the shape is called biconcave disc. That just means it's like a disc, but it's got a little indentation here, and obviously on the other side it's going to have a little indentation as well. Okay, red blood cells, obviously they're red. Okay, they're bright red when they are carrying oxygen. They're kind of a dark red, almost a brown tint when they don't have oxygen attached to them. They're not blue. A lot of people think red blood cells turn blue when they don't have oxygen attached to them. They are not blue. That's the veins. Veins have blue in their the connective tissue layer, and that makes veins look blue, and so a lot of people assume that red blood cells are blue when they don't have oxygen attached to it. Okay, you have probably never seen red blood cells without oxygen attached to it, because when you get a cut or a scrape or something like that, it automatically hits oxygen, and so it automatically turns that bright red color. Okay. So you got red blood cells. What do? They carry oxygen. That's their biggest thing that they have to do. Now there's a protein in there called hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is extremely important for carrying the oxygen, but it's actually not even the protein that carries the oxygen. It's just hemoglobin carries iron, and that's why you need iron in your diet. You need iron for your red blood cells. Now, it's an interesting thing. What happens if you have an old car outside, or you have some steel outside, whatever? What happens to it? It rusts. Well, your blood literally rusts. Rust is just iron reacting with oxygen, iron carrying or bonding to oxygen. So your blood is constantly rusting, and your body uses that just to carry oxygen throughout your body. Okay, rust is kind of a reddish brown color. Bam, same thing. Red blood cells, when they rust, they turn that bright red. Okay. Let's see here. Red blood cells made in the bones, spongy bones specifically, with the red bone marrow. Now, in the bones, they're produced, but when they mature, they don't have a nucleus. Nucleus would just take up too much space in there. All they want to do is carry oxygen. So they actually it's one of the few cells in your body that doesn't have a nucleus. They live only 120 days before they get broken down. Okay? Hemoglobin, by the way, that's also what makes your pee yellow. All right? All right, so that's red blood cells right there. White blood cells, what do white blood cells do? They fight the disease. white blood cells are so very important right now with this coronavirus stuff going around. Okay, now they're going to do a few different things. Oh, one thing I should say, this is just an artist's rendition of a white blood cell, and you can see it's surrounded by red blood cells. They're actually a little bigger than that compared to the size of the red blood cells. Okay, what are they going to do? Whenever they find something that is not natural to your body, whatever it is, it could be a toxin, could be bacteria, could be a virus, whatever it is, it's going to alert the immune system. That's the first thing that's going to do. Now, your immune system will then make more white blood cells, okay? And they'll make white blood cells to go and target whatever that is. Well, COVID-19, why is COVID-19 spreading so easily? One of the reasons is it's so unlike anything that we've seen before, okay? Your body has to recognize the virus or recognize the bacteria to be able to kill it. Now, unfortunately, our body doesn't reckon COVID-19 that well, not that quickly, and that's why it's so difficult to be able for our bodies to be able to fight it off, okay? All right, now what do also they do? When they do find a virus or a bacteria or something, they just surround it. They just blah, just go around it. Think like the blob, okay? So it's going to go around it. It's going to kill the intruder. Also, it does have a nucleus. White blood cells do have a nucleus. They live much longer than the red blood cells. They can live for months even, okay? So white blood cells, so very important with everything that happens, okay? Next thing, platelets. Platelets really don't look like that, but it gives you an idea of what platelets are at least. Platelets are these little things. They're not sticky. They float around in your bloodstream. You don't want them to be sticky because then they would clog up all your blood vessels. But here's the cool thing. God made us to, when a blood vessel is broken, these things go into action. So when a blood vessel gets cut, there's little proteins that come out of the walls of the blood vessel that activates these guys. These guys, they change shape. They become very, very fibrous. Think almost like a spider web type thing. And they instantly become very, very sticky. Now, what is that going to do? It's going to clot the blood, okay? So you fell on your bike, you skinned your knee. What's going to happen? All those broken blood vessels release proteins, which make these guys get real sticky. Those guys are what clots the blood, gets in there, and they basically start building up. They start making the scab. They stop the leak by becoming all sticky and fibrous, and they're going to basically make a layer that's going to help patch it and help keep the blood in for one thing, and actually induce healing as well. Okay, so those are the platelets. These guys that we've done already, the red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets, those are the solid parts of your blood. Now, the plasma is the liquid part of your blood, okay? This is blood after it's been in a centrifuge. That just means it's been spun around and around and around really, really fast. So the more dense, more solid stuff goes to the bottom. Your plasma, which is the liquid part on top here, your plasma, yeah, that's the liquid right there, okay? Can you donate plasma? Absolutely, you can donate plasma. People even pay money for donating. For if they donate plasma, they will get money, but you have to be old enough. You guys can't do it. It's used in medicine. A lot of people use plasma, for whatever blood transfusions, stuff like that. Okay, it's the liquid part of your blood. All right. You guys have seen plasma before. It's been in your blisters. If you've ever gotten a blister, this stuff stays inside your body, but the liquid part of the blood leaks through from like the inside of the skin to the outside, the epithelial layer between the dermis and the epithelium. The liquid that gets into a blister, that's the plasma. Okay, what does it do? Carries carbon dioxide. It's going to carry carbon dioxide back to your lungs. It's also going to carry salts back all over in your body because you do need salts. You need salts that helps thicken up your blood. Too much salt is a bad thing, but you're going to need salts as well in there. Okay? Now, blood types. This is very, very important. Okay? So we have all these blood types. We have blood transfusion. You are a type of blood. You could either be AB, A, B, or type O blood. That's what type you are. And that dictates who you can get blood transfusions from or who you can give blood transfusions to. Okay? Now, this is the way you think about it, okay? If you are type AB, you have these little things on them. They're called antigens. These little marker proteins all around it, okay? So if you are type AB blood, okay, you have both A spiky guys, both A antigens and B antigens on your cells, okay? If you're type A blood, you only have the A antigens. If you're type B blood, you only have the B antigens. And if you're type O blood, you have no antigens at all. Now, this becomes important because when you get a transfusion, if you get a transfusion and you find that, and if you get a transfusion with antigens that your body is not used to, your body will start killing the red blood cells, but it's also going to cause clotting inside your bloodstream, and it could make you very, very sick. It could even kill you if it's bad enough. Okay, so we're going to start out this way. What if you are type AB blood? The question is, can you get a transfusion from someone who is type A blood? The answer is absolutely. You can get a transfusion from someone who's type A blood, no problem. Could you get a transfusion from someone who's type AB blood? Absolutely. Could you get a transfusion from someone that's a B type blood? Absolutely. Could you get a transfusion from someone who is type O blood? The answer is yes, because if you're getting type O blood, you're getting something without any antigens. Your body's not going to recognize anything different about those blood cells. I mean, it doesn't notice that there are no antigens. It only notices when it's different antigens than what you have. So you'd be absolutely fine. Now pretend you have type A blood. Okay? Could you get blood from someone who is type AB? The answer is no. You could not get blood from someone who's type AB because your body doesn't know what a B antigen looks like. You'd be introducing something with the B antigens and it would be no good at all. Your blood would start clotting. You recognize the AB as an intruder and it would be bad. Okay? What if you were type A blood? Could you get transfusions from someone who's type B? No, you could not get a transfusion from someone who is type B, okay? It's going to recognize these antigens and it's going to start killing it. If you are type A blood, could you get blood from someone who is type O? The answer is yes. There's no antigens. You're not going to get any of that, okay? You're going to be absolutely fine. Last one. Type O, we're going to skip B for right now. Pretend you're type O blood. Can you get AB blood? And the answer is no, you cannot. Can you get A blood if you're type O? You cannot. It would recognize those antigens. Your body would kill it. Your body is not used to any antigens on your blood. Could you get type B? Nope, can't do that. Type O people can only get blood from other type O people. Okay? Type O blood is very, very valuable. My father has type O blood, and he's getting calls from the hospital all the time, especially right now, to come in and actually donate blood because type O can only give to O. Can type O blood give to anyone else? And the answer is yes. Type O blood is considered the universal donor because they can give blood to anyone else. And finally, type AB blood is considered the universal recipient. Why is it called the universal recipient? Because it can get blood from anyone. Okay, that concludes this. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.